There, the elite lived in large stone houses. The commoners that did live in the cities were craft workers and laborers. As the deviation between these two classes increased, this brought about a new demand. The elite class demanded the production of more luxury and sophisticated artifacts. Many of these luxury artifacts were made from jade, obsidian, and magnetite. These precious materials were sought because of their beauty and also because of the prestige of owning something so rare. The need for these precious materials caused the early Olmec elites to have access to an extensive trading network in Mesoamerica. The Olmec elites got their valued jade from the Motagua River Valley in eastern Guatemala. The obsidian, on the other hand, was obtained from the Guatemalan highlands such as El Chayal and San Martin Jilotepeque, or in Puebla. The distance to these places was said to range from around 200 to 400 kilometers away, respectively. So the Olmec people went through great lengths to get these valuable materials. One of the earliest cities of the Olmec, San Lorenzo, and it was said to be the greatest city in Mesoamerica at that time. But this great city was later abandoned around 900 BCE. It's unclear why, but the Olmec relocated to the island site in the Tonala River. This site became La Venta, the Olmec's central trading, religious, and cultural hub. San Lorenzo and La Venta. There are many wonderful insights about the Olmecs in San Lorenzo and La Venta, which makes these places even more interesting. Let's take a quick tour as we go into a well-detailed history of these sites. San Lorenzo was the first major city of the Olmec civilization, with a population of at least 15,000. Here, the Olmecs created an elaborate drainage system. They achieved this by using carved stone pipes with lids. Centuries later, after the excavation of this site, 10 amazing colossal heads were discovered there, along with other artifacts that gave us insight into the lives of the Olmecs. When the Olmecs moved to La Venta around 900 BCE, they further proved that they were the mother culture of Mesoamerica, because here the Olmecs thrived and prospered. With an increase in population of about 18,000, the Olmecs quickly adapted to a more diverse way of life. Many people there had jobs such as farming, fishing, and moving stone blocks from distant quarries. Traders also ventured into the distant valleys of Mexico and beyond, bringing back cacao, bright feathers, obsidian, and jadeite. Apart from the 4 colossal heads found in La Venta, a great pyramid can also be found there. The building of this pyramid is estimated to have begun around 1200 BCE. With a height of 110 feet and containing approximately 100,000 cubic meters of earthfill, it became the largest Mesoamerican structure of its time. The pyramid has never been excavated, but scans showed a few interesting anomalies. Underneath the city, there are other structures. These include more than 1,000 tons of polished serpentine blocks, more than 48 individual deposits of pottery, hematite mirrors, jade celts, and complex mosaics. The many artifacts of the Olmec. One of the many things that makes the Olmec civilization stand out from the other Mesoamerican civilizations is the many artifacts they created. These artifacts are not just limited to the colossal heads we've talked about, but there are other amazing artifacts that the Olmecs have made. For example, one of the other well-known sculptures of Olmec is the Wrestler. The Wrestler is a basalt statue dating back to between 1500 BCE and 400 BCE. Some experts believe it to be one of the most important sculptures of the Olmec culture. What makes this statue stand out is that it is almost the size of a real-life person. This has caused it worldwide recognition for its realism and sense of energy, but also for its beautiful qualities. Other art expresses fantastic anthropomorphic creatures, or to put it in a simpler term, the Olmec arts show other human-like qualities and features of non-human things like animals, gods, and objects. Most of these arts are made from jade, clay, basalt, and greenstone, holding religious meaning to the Olmec. In addition to making human and human-like objects, Olmec artisans were also skilled in making gigantic sculptures, like the colossal heads with their real-life portrayals of the Olmec people. The Olmec head has been said to be 17 in number since the day of its first finding. 10 are in San Lorenzo, 4 in La Venta, 2 in Tres Zapotes, and 1 in Rancho La Cubata. The head of Rancho La Cubata is 11 feet high. Scholars estimate that the largest heads weigh between 28 and 61 tons. The heads were carved from single blocks or boulders of volcanic basalt. The Tres Zapotes heads, for example, were sculpted from basalt in Cerro El Vigia. But as time passed, these massive heads have been mutilated, buried, and lost to time. Among other artifacts is the jade face mask. This artifact is much smaller than the colossal heads, but these masks are different from the local masks we are familiar with or know about. That's because of what it was made from. Jade is a precious stone, and it was used as a mark of rank by the ruling classes. By 1500 BCE, early Olmec sculptors had mastered the human form. This was evident through the wooden Olmec sculptures discovered in the swampy bogs of El Manati. Now, you might be wondering how archaeologists could tell how old these sculptures were. Well, before the use of radiocarbon dating, which could tell the exact age of Olmec pieces, archaeologists and art historians noticed the unique Olmec style in a variety of artifacts. The Olmec style refers to the combination of deep-set eyes, nostrils, and a strong, slightly asymmetrical mouth. This style also combines facial features of both humans and jaguars. The Olmec arts are strongly tied to the Olmec religion, which has the features of jaguars. That's because the Olmec people had great belief in were-jaguars, the same way some tribes believed in the existence of werewolves. This might be the first time you come across such a name, but the Olmecs believed that in the distant past, where jaguars were created when a jaguar and a woman came together. This might sound alien to you, but the Olmec civilization had a strong belief system in this. Finally, we have the Kunz axes. The Nus axes are also known as the votive axes. These figures are believed to represent were-jaguars and were apparently used for rituals. In most cases, the head is half the total volume of the figure, with these heads having flat noses and an open mouth. It might interest you to know that the name Kunz actually came from George Frederick Kunz, an American mineralogist who described a figure in 1890. The amazing innovations of the Olmec. When it comes to great innovations, the Olmecs definitely created a lot. Being the early Mesoamerican culture, they became the pace-setters for other Mesoamerican civilizations like the Aztec, Inca, and Maya people. Their influence was so great that other civilizations took inspiration from them or chose to follow them. They are known to create many firsts, like bloodletting, human sacrifice, writing and epigraphy, the invention of popcorn, creating the concept of zero, making the Mesoamerican calendar, and creating the Mesoamerican